What up? This is Robert Ory.
Ory, three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
Let's do it one more time this week. It's the shoot around. We've done about 40 of these jokers. Our little bonus show at the end of the week here. Stuff we didn't get to, stuff we missed. Your questions as well. You can always send those in. We're Big Shot Bob Pod pretty much everywhere. We're at Gmail, Facebook, Twitters, if that's what it's called anymore. The Instagram. Apparently, B-Dog's not on Snapchat, so we'll
I'm not on Snapchat
not
anymore.
on Snapchat anymore. Not on Snapchat anymore. So anytime you got a question or a topic for the show, please send it in. We'd love to hear from you guys. Did have this one come in from several people. What did you guys think about Jalen Rose this week? Saying the number 23 should be retired throughout the entire NBA because of Michael Jordan. So this tweet was followed up by several others. The guy played hoops with his tongue out and still had the most popular kicks, even though he hasn't played in decades. Don't front. You and your kids stay thirsty for Jordans. No other athlete has a stranglehold on the public. Bow down. And they are so popular that folks are just shooting and killing for his kicks. Some weird points to make there, but you had me till the last bit, till the shooting. As soon as we got into shootings, I'm like, all right, you've fallen off here. But thoughts on retired 23 across the league for Jordan?
Nah,
I'm with it.
I'm not. I love MJ, but nah. Because I still think you think about what Kareem did for the sport, 33. There's so many numbers that, guys who've made Bill Russell 6,
They did that for Bill, didn't they?
No, this guys can still wear 6.
Really? Didn't they retire? I thought they were going to retire league wide for Bill Russell after he passed. I thought that was the story. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think they do. I could be wrong. I just think it's just, it's too many influential players that have made their mark on this league, So
all right, well, it looks like there's a lot of individual teams that are retiring the number 6.
Yeah.
But on their own accord, not a league-wide thing.
So I just think no. I think I don't think so. I love MJ. I love him, but I don't think that's coming from. Ain't Jalen from Chicago?
No, Jalen's from Detroit.
He's from Detroit.
Yeah. Michigan guy.
So no, I don't think so. I just think there's too many other guys who've also made historical marks on the league. Don't get me wrong. The guy who's changed the league, as far as, everybody wanted to wear, black socks. Everybody wanted to wear baggy shorts to tight shorts. It had a lot to do with, MJ, but I just don't think that, you retire 23 across the league. Because let's go to, let's say, Sacramento. Now you retire the number across the league, but the number's already retired because it belonged to Mitch Richmond. So
true.
I think he should.
I think for me, when people wear 23, I always think of Jordan. So that's probably enough. You don't need to officially retire it as much as, he's wearing Jordan's number. You know what I mean? And I think only because Jordan was the guy that permeated pop culture so much in the 80s and the 90s, in the heyday when the NBA really started to rise to its most popular points, that I feel like anytime you put on the number 23, it just evokes Michael Jordan. So if you want to wear it, that's up to you. I would purposefully pick a different number because I'm not trying to, put Jordan's number on. But I don't think you need to retire it.
Yeah.
Maybe after Mike passes on, or I don't know. Not that that's a more.
But see,
thing,
Yeah, but we all gonna go at some point. But it's one of those things to where I don't think you would have to wait until he passes on. I think if you're gonna do it, why not do it while he's here as a celebratory thing while he's still alive?
Yeah.
It's the reason why I say is because of a lot of and I understand, we talk about Kareem and maybe it's just a generational type of thing. There's so much, just like Kareem, I'm not taking anything away from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and we understand what he has meant to the game, what he has meant to just history in general. I understand that. But I do think when it comes to the game and, like you said, the culture And just like they called him Black Jesus. Like what Mike meant, and when it came to, especially as a guard in a big man's league, like he was like the premier guard, like the premier two guard. And where you had, everybody was like, well, you got to have a big man to win. Well, not with Mike. He didn't have a premier big man that he played with, whereas so many other teams throughout history had premier big men who were the focal points of those teams. Mike was a two guard and dominated the league the way that he did and controlled the league the way that he did. And I think, like you said, anytime you see that 2-3, when it comes to the shoes, when it comes to the jump man, it controls so much still to this day that it's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable the way that he still controls and kind of handles the NBA the way that he does now. He ain't no owner no more. He ain't even around anymore. He on a golf course somewhere. But when you see 2-3, Michael Jordan. Everybody knows that. You got babies born yesterday. They come out saying they see that 2-3. Michael Jordan. They know.
Props to your baby voice. Shit. You know, doing voices on this week's show. Damn, I didn't expect that, but it was not on my bingo card for this week's show. You don't do an impression.
You know, but either
no,
way,
yeah, I get your point. It's just, it's so pervasive, and I think, I think both of you guys have good points, though. Because I feel like if you're going to retire a number league-wide, what makes Jordan more so than a Kareem, more so than a Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, guys that were, because as much as you know Jordan's name, you know Wilt Chamberlain's name.
Yeah.
You might be damn well related to him for all the babies he's made. But it's, I think it's a hard bar to set for the first guy. For the one that's going to be retired league-wide, that's the standard. For baseball, I think it was, when you retire someone like Jackie Robinson's number, very obviously why you would retire that across the entire Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I mean, he broke the color barrier, incredible man, pioneer, retire that number. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's arguments to be made on either side of it, but Jalen seems to be big on it. Question from Derek. I saw this thing on NBA Central where pick three players that had the highest peaks in their career, and they put like a picture of 9 people up, and he sent this to me, and I'd seen it as well. Tim Duncan, Kevin Durant, Shaq, Kobe, Dream, Giannis, Jokic, Steph, and Magic. We're all in this picture, 9 guys. Which 3 do you think have had the highest peaks? My only issue with this is several of these guys are still playing. So I don't think you can really say any of them have had their highest peak yet. Maybe Steph. But which guys have had the highest peaks in their career? Tough, man.
That's tough.
Because what do you define as the highest peak? The best moment?
Where are they peaking at? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if you
let's look at him. Tim Duncan.
He had
5
like
championships, right?
6-year run or 7-year run where he was. When you say highs, is it how long you up there?
Yeah, and that's again where we have to kind of figure it out. So I mean, Tim Duncan, right? A stretch of, arguably 10 years, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Won 5 titles. Kevin Durant. KD for me's had a lot of highs, but he's had some lows.
Yeah.
And we don't know where how his career's going to finish.
His highs were
Golden State?
Yeah.
Because he got his rings?
I
but those weren't his teams.
Well, I think they're talking about, I don't know if they're just, obviously he's talking individually.
Yeah.
That was, even though that may not have been his team, he was.
Yeah, arguably top 3 or 4 players in the league. Okay. Shaq.
Oh.
Now.
Shaq's may be, Shaq's may be, it's tough, but his may be the easier one to look at and say, I could give you a better kind of idea.
This was the peak.
Yeah.
It was the 3 Lakers titles. That
because
was yeah.
But I'll even say even a little before then, because even when when Mike came back and they beat the Bulls.
95?
95.
Like you can start that peak from.
Rob knows 95 Shaq.
Yeah.
Look at him stroking his little goatee. He's like, oh, I know 95 Shaq.
95 to, obviously crossing over into the three-peat with the Lakers. Like, you knew around that time that Shaq it. He's it. Because it was before he got to the Lakers.
Yeah.
I think Rob would agree.
Yeah. It's just so weird. That question is a hard question.
It really is. Kobe.
Yeah, he gotta go out. Kobe and Tim pretty much were the same in the same era, same time.
You can hang Kobe as 10 years of peak, probably, that might even be selling it short.
And we even jumping past Magic. Think about it. Magic won 5 titles. He had that little stretch.
Well, him and Bird, they ruled the 80s.
Yes,
it was. Listen. I could take out KD. I can take out Giannis. I can take out Dream. I can take out Jokic because he's still going. I think Steph. I hope he does, but he probably gonna win a title for a while now. And so, to me, it leaves Duncan, Magic, Steph. And I'll take out Shaq too, because that era that Shaq had. Let's say from 2000 to 2007, 6, wherever he left the Lakers, they only won 3 titles within that moment.
Okay, he was there. I think it was there 8 years.
Yeah. And so then that leaves Tim Duncan, and then Kobe. I'm gonna take Kobe out because he did his 3, and then he had a drop, and then he came back up. So I'm taking Kobe out.
So are we talking about? And this is where the other question comes in. Are we just talking about titles, or are we talking about their rise as an individual player? Because even with Kobe's drop off. Yeah. Kobe was becoming the best player in the league.
But here's this thing: is all these guys were at that level, and I'm saying the only reason I'm dropping them out is because they didn't win a title. I'm not saying that they weren't at their peak, but what puts you at the upper echelon is when you get that title. So now it's like Jokic is out, Steph is out, Magic is there, so that leaves Tim and Magic. So I'm gonna go with Tim.
Yeah, I guess Tim, Magic, and Kobe all had 5 titles.
Yeah, because Tim had a stretch from 99.
Very dominant runs.
Where he was, but it's that's my skill, but that's one of those ones where you're going to see him and be scratching your head. Okay, now I'm going to put him. The next week you ask me, I'm like, well, Tim had that drop off like Kobe. You're going to take him out. And so, you know what? It doesn't really matter because you just put MJ and Scotty in there, and they the ones that had the highest
and that was it. Yeah. But like with Timmy, though, it was like they went through that run with you guys when you were there. You were there for 2 of them, but San Antonio had that like every other year run for like 9 years. It was like win,
2000,
down, win, down,
2005,
99 to like 2008.
Yeah.
2007. When was your last win?
Mine was 2007.
2007. So, it would have been 99 to 07. It was every other season. All right, so we mentioned Steph in the previous question. He mentioned on CBS Mornings this week that he would be interested in running for public office after his career ends and possibly the presidency. You think Steph Curry could win the presidency?
When you talk about sports figures who have a squeaky clean image, he's probably number 1 on that list.
He's up there, man. He's up there.
And then he hits you with the baby face. He gonna make you fall in love with the baby face.
All right, so here's my question: who's his running mate? Who's he running with?
It ain't gonna be Draymond.
No.
Draymond can be Secretary of Defense.
Think about it. If he gets Steve Kerr as his running mate, because Steve Kerr,
Steve's very political
in the military background with his family, and so that would be his. Hey, he might win that shit.
He'll win it. He could win. I don't know where I am when it comes to I'll say when it comes to athletes becoming political figures.
It's like Steve Garvey.
Yeah, it's I'm not saying that it can't happen, but and I don't mind athletes having their opinion on, politics, because everybody has their opinion. That's cool.
Sure.
But I think sometimes then it just becomes it solely just becomes the popularity contest.
Now you're putting people in a box, man. Don't put people in a box.
I'm not trying to. But for me personally, I don't know how well that sits with me, that one of the most prominent NBA players of all time and the greatest shooter of all time. I don't know how I would look at him crossing over into politics, because then I think that then changes the way people look at you. That, like, politics is a very grimy.
Ask Donald Trump. Because for years he had a very popular TV show in The Apprentice, and people for a very long time would just walk around, "You're fired. Oh, you're fired." Like it was a bit. Donald Trump was a bit. Now he's arguably the most hated person on the planet.
Rappers used to put him in songs. Like rappers used to put him in songs. They used to revere him. They used to
now they want to kill him. Now it's like there's music videos of people cutting off Donald Trump's head.
Like politics will really make people
vicious.
It'll make them hate you.
Yeah, divisive. People that might have loved you as a player will hate you as a politician.
And so many people are mad at Steve Garvey around here, boy. They're like, "Oh, I used to love Steve Garvey."
Not no more.
What's the guy who became governor in Minnesota?
Oh, Jesse the Body Ventura. Tell you something about Jesse Ventura up in Minnesota, brother.
Yeah. Ask how some people feel about Herschel Walker.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Look, man, I'm so happy that race is over, because those ads wore me down to a crisp. I was almost done with television completely during that race.
Only in Georgia.
Oh my God. Oh no, only in the state of Georgia, because it was Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker, and they went to a runoff. And that shit ran for like another month and a half, and we thought we were over it, and it went on and on and on and on and on and on. But you're right. Herschel Walker, running on the platform he ran on, drew a line in the sand. And people that used to love him for being a UGA legend hate his freaking guts now. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Steph,
it's a weird place to be. Yeah. It's a weird place to be.
You know what it is? From the outside looking in, you go, I would love to do that. And then you get in it and you realize how full of shit everybody is and how awful it is to be a part of it. And then you run. You got to get the hell out of it.
Kevin Johnson did it for a while up in Sacramento. So
that's right. Yeah, but no, I'm with you though.
And then some people, I don't see a lot of people taking him seriously. I just don't.
Right, because I guess I think
he had to start out slow and move his way up,
Oh, sure, city council and then run for the House. But it's like, I think he would garner people's votes, and I'm thinking this is probably what's in his head, based on his popularity as a pop culture figure. He's one of the most well-known players in the NBA, arguably in NBA history. His name is thrown around in a positive context everywhere. Like Rob said, squeaky clean image. He could get a lot of votes just on that. Without any platform, without any stance, he could probably get a shit ton of votes just based on who he is. And I would imagine that's probably what's going on in his brain. But what do I know? All right, let's ask. I did want to bring a little quick piece of audio, and we got a couple more questions here. I want to play a piece of audio from Draymond. Draymond, we were talking about Wembenyama on the Wednesday show. He's big on Wemby. This was Draymond's thoughts about Wembenyama.
Victor Wembenyama is probably a top 20 player in the NBA right now. With that skill set, with that length, with that jump shot, his jump shot is absolutely beautiful. In San Antonio with that style, that kid, watch out. This is no stray at all. I think Chet Holmgren is a very good player, and I know there's been this comparison amongst those two, but I will tell you, I think there's a gap in between Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembenyama. Victor Wembenyama is just different. Kid's special. Absolutely special. And he may win MVP of the league in like the next 2 years or so.
Some high praise.
Very high praise, well deserved.
Yeah.
But he won't win MVP in the next 2 years because they still gonna suck as a team.
That's my problem.
He ain't winning no MVP.
You got a
team
lot
sucks.
of wood to chop in San Antonio.
Hey, first of all, you got Embiid who's gonna probably come back. Jokic still around. Giannis still
ain't
around.
going nowhere. Jason Tatum's back in the conversation
Exactly.
after a 1 week of he's not going to win it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, it's how things can change in the NBA from summer to summer. I don't know. We don't know at what point in time that the Spurs are going to say, you know what? While we have him on his rookie deal, because when it's going to be time to pay Wemby,
Oh, boy.
let me put it to you like this. Hey, you may have to give all of Texas to him in order to keep him, because at some point in time, you got to start building around him early. So I don't know if it be next summer or this summer you start looking at what can we do to build around him? Let's see who we can garner to, hey, come play with Wemby. Who wants to play with Wemby? What free agents out there want to play so we can start building this team? Because I don't think you wait 2 to 3 years to try to become a contender. No, you do that as soon as possible with a talent like that, because eventually you're going to have to pay him. And the way the numbers are looking now in the NBA,
Hey, but the good thing about that, he's a rookie and you get to keep him for a while.
that's what I'm saying.
Throw some pieces around him while you can afford to do it.
But while you have him, take advantage of it early.
Here's the thing. Is San Antonio a destination city?
It is.
Are you going to want to play for a coach like Pop who's past his prime now? It's a lot of factors that go on, and for players to be like, I don't want to go there. And nowadays, everybody's about getting their extension. All the good players want their extension, and they ain't going nowhere. So it's going to be hard as hell for them to get someone to play for, San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could play to the legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look what we did when we had these guys for this stretch of time, 5 titles over 9 seasons. You could maybe lean on that. This is the guy that got him there. Pop got it done. And the only reason he's being positioned as past his prime is because he doesn't have the players. You give him a few star players around a generational talent like Wembenyama.
How old is Pop? Like 78?
Oh, yeah, he's up there. I think he's 78 or 79.
He needs to shut it down, man, because just for health reasons.
Oh,
not because he doesn't have it.
I'm not saying that he still has it. I'm saying that's the narrative. The narrative can be, well, the only reason he's being billed as against over his prime is because he doesn't have the guys. Give him the guys and watch what he can do. I don't know. How else do you get people to come to San Antonio? Riverwalk's nice, but I don't know what else you got. You know what I mean? Come see the Alamo. It's next to a dry cleaners.
I think you got a guy like that in Wemby because obviously you believe that obviously outside of his skill set, but you're hoping that he's a big enough name.
Yeah.
And he's a big enough draw to be able to intrigue somebody.
Entice somebody.
Right.
What
and I'm not saying that person has to be
Victor Wembenyama? Well, damn.
And I'm not saying that person has to be, you got to bring in superstars, obviously, because they're more than likely not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. But comparable pieces.
Yeah, you can get some pieces.
To put around him to be a factor in the Western Conference and in the league. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. But I'm on Draymond's note about him being a top 20 player right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, he is.
Give me a few more years. Give me a few more years.
So you got 19 other guys ahead of him?
Heck yeah.
Let me try to see. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm not tripping.
I mean, it might be close. If it's there, it's like right on the cusp. And I mean, even then, I'm not. I mean,
bro, when you start getting
he's
into
so young. It's his first year in the league.
All right, just think about the All-Star team. Just take the All-Star team.
Yeah, there you go.
Tell me what player on the All-Star team that he's better than.
I got to look back at the All-Star team.
Yeah. All right, we'll pull up the All-Star roster if you want.
I got to pull back up that All-Star team.
Right. And in the meantime, we'll move on to a question from Dan. Evan Fournier got booted the crap out of that basketball after Bam hit the game winner over the Pistons and caught a $25,000 fine. Rob, Is that bananas? It seems like that would happen a lot in a game.
It's so weird that you would think that it would happen a lot in the game, but most guys understand that,
I've seen it happen plenty of times.
Yeah, well, guys understand that's automatic $20,000 fine. Even if you throw a ball.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
You can't even, I don't even think you can take a ball and point out someone and toss it to them. It's a fine.
Like if you're giving it to a kid, you can't do that?
Yeah, because the NBA has a lot of strict rules about anything being thrown into the stands.
Interesting.
From a mouthpiece, only thing that you can throw into the stands is a jersey.
Okay. So if he would have booted it straight up in the air and it came back down on the floor, he probably would have been okay?
It didn't matter.
Okay.
No,
as soon as he booted the ball, that was it, $25,000. Deal with it? Okay.
Yeah.
So just looking at, and obviously you got to take into account, I guess, all the All-Stars because more than 20 of them.
Okay.
But 3 names that come to mind. Did Julius Randle make the All-Star team this year?
I don't think so, no.
Was he not on the All-Star team?
No, he was hurt. You remember? That's
right. Yeah, he was hurt. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me drop it down to 2. My Atlanta fans, don't get mad at me. Trae Young.
Yeah, I would take him over Trae. Yeah.
Toronto, Scotty Barnes.
Oh, no. I thought Darko was saying Scotty Barnes was the face of the league. Now we're taking Victor Wembenyama over Scotty Barnes? I would take Wembenyama over Scotty.
I would take even Wembenyama over Tyrese Halliburton, who was on the All-Star team.
He was?
He was. Now, he's been struggling like hell the last couple weeks.
Do you take him over Tyrese Maxey?
No.
This season's Tyrese Maxey, no.
No.
Do you take him over Bam Adebayo?
No.
No, I want Bam for experience.
Yes, I think because Bam can do a lot defensively.
Yeah.
On the perimeter. You know what I mean? As far as switching, if I'm a switching team like most people are, he won't get exploited and get beat to the rim. Even though you think he can come out and block shot, but no.
Do you take him over Jalen Brunson?
No.
Not this season.
I'm going down the doggone list.
Not this season.
I'm trying to evade the obvious ones.
Yeah. All right. Well, point made. There's if he's near the top 20, he's near the bottom of that top 20 list.
I give him top 30.
I mean, dude, and it's not taking anything away from the kid. The kid is exceptional.
He's top 25.
He's exceptional, but he's also a rook.
So, here's the thing. Let's see, who didn't make the All-Star team that everybody was talking about? Was Joel Embiid on the All-Star team? He wasn't even on the All-Star team.
He was hurt too.
Because he was hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt too.
Yeah.
So anyway, if he's up there, he's low on the list. But all right, last story. We'll wrap up shoot around this week. And if you ever have one again, we're at Big Shot Bob Pod pretty much everywhere. Paul Pierce, the latest celebrity to fall prey to Los Angeles burglary. His home was broken into Friday night. They took luxury watches and over $100,000 in cash. Amongst the burglarized items were not just those watches and the money and a safe. The police are trying to track him down. Rob, have you ever been robbed? And is L.A. that bad with crime out by you? Jesus.
No, I think, a lot of these thieves are getting smart. They get Instagram and they look, oh, you ain't in town. You in Boston at a game. You ain't coming back no time soon.
Okay.
Yeah. I got robbed on Valentine's Day a couple of years ago.
On Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it was I was living in Katy. The whole neighborhood got hit. It's almost like they knew everybody was out on Valentine's Day or what might be.
Oh, maybe.
And I come in, I felt I was out of town. I come back on the day after, I felt like a draft. I felt the humidity in my house. I'm like, what the fuck? I walk in my bedroom. The doors out going out to the backyard. One of them had broke the glass in the middle and got into my bedroom and went into my closet and took my college championship rings, took my watches. But the funny part about it is I had just went to get I was doing my insurance for my house and my jewelry. I just brought my rings and everything, and they were laying on my bed. And they didn't even look at my bed. They just went straight to the closet. Oh. So they missed all the expensive shit, because I was in a hurry.
You're talking about your NBA rings?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah. So Yeah.
Sheesh.
So they missed everything that was laying on my bed. I was lucky.
You are very lucky.
Mhm. I was really
That
lucky.
has got to be, and I've never been burglarized, but that has to be the shittiest feeling.
Oh,
Knowing
yeah.
somebody's been in your house. Like that, just the thought of that makes me feel like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
I
It
don't
was
want
like-
nobody
and
in my house, man.
And the lady across the way, she came to me. She's like, they were trying to figure out how they got into the neighborhood because we had a guard at the gate, and they thought they came through my backyard because I lived on the bayou, which is like you have to literally like go through some mud and stuff to come up into but I had a fence. I'm like, don't look like anything was disturbed in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had over like $500,000 in watches stolen.
Oh, damn.
She had her safe stolen too, and so the whole neighborhood was in the streets like, what the fuck, man? Why are we paying all this money for security and we all get robbed on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, that's crazy.
They
You know,
recover
just
any of
even-
that stuff or no?
No, my college championship rings is, even though they weren't as expensive as my, NBA championship rings, it hurts, man, because that's the ones where you playing the game just for the love of the game, trying to get to that next level, and I'm hurt by the fact that they're gone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not anymore. Now you play for a contract in college. What are you talking about, man? Give me some NIL money. I don't give a shit about them rings.
Yeah, I hear too often about how celebrities and people are being robbed and hit in areas where I'm thinking like, bro, how folk getting up here and getting through all of this? I'm like, you breaking into these people's houses, but ain't nobody safe.
Hey, I think sometimes security's like, yo, I got one. He just left. I'll let you through. Like,
Ooh.
no, nobody came through.
Man, I hope that's not the case.
Mm-mm.
Because if there
Hey,
is,
that's why you get a dog. Let them roll up in this house. Storm gonna have a field day with them.
you can't install cable at your house with a dog ain't want to attack your ass, man. Jesus.